All right, lesson 6 is all about simplifying expressions. So for this first one, it's going to be another distributive problem that we saw a little earlier in the previous lesson. And so we're going to multiply the 3 times each term on the inside of the parentheses. That's going to leave us 15x to the 4th power plus 3x squared minus 27x. When you do that, you will see that the answer is, in fact, answer B. Groundwork's just going to be kind of the background information. This particular example is talking about combining like terms. So we have 2x plus 3x, a combination of 5x. 7x plus 1 does not simplify any, so we're going to leave that as 7x plus 1. That cannot be combined. And here we have a distributive property, 4 times x, 4 times 1, 4x plus 4. This next set, we're looking at 3x times x, which means we're multiplying our whole number of coefficients, adding exponents, so that's 3x to the 2nd power. Here we're talking about 1x squared times 1x times 1x. That's going to be x to the 4th power. And finally, we have some distributive property, and we're going to multiply and get 8x to the 3rd power minus 12x squared plus 16x plus 5. And these last examples, you're actually trying to undo the process or factor out. So 8 and 4 both have a 4 in common. So if we're going to undistribute or factor out a 4, that leaves you with 2x plus 1. The second example, you've got 3x squared plus 6x plus 9. Each of those terms are divisible by 3. So we can factor out a 3. Leaves us with x squared plus 2x plus 3. This last example, 4x squared minus 1. Well, both terms share an x. So that leaves us with 4x minus 1. As far as the application, which of the following is equivalent to 16x squared minus 6x? So 6 times 10 is 60, so it's not A. 2 times 3 is only minus 6, so it's not C. 6 times 10 is 60, so it's not D. 2 times 8 is 16. X times x is x squared. 2 times 3 is 6, so this gives you 16 x squared minus 6x, which is exactly what we're looking for. Which of the following is not equivalent to 30x minus 15? Well, if I'm looking at this, 3 times 5 in this last problem, 3 times 15 is 45, not 15. And so that is not going to be equivalent to. All the others are, in fact, equivalent to the original. And finally, the practice, which the following is not equivalent. So I'm going to look for any patterns. 12 times 1 is 12. 6 times 2 is 12. 3 times 12 is going to be 36. So that is not going to be equivalent to the original problem. The second one, which following is equivalent to, so we're looking for 24x squared minus 8x. And so as I'm looking at each of these, 8 times 16 is much more than 24. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 6 is 24. But we need 8x in the second term. So when you do 4x times 2, that's going to give you the answer that we need. And finally, the last example that we're going to look at is going to be a distribution problem. And so in this problem, we're going to distribute 6 times each term on the inside. That's going to give us 18x to the 5th minus 12x squared plus 30x. Looking at my answer choices, it looks like the answer is A. That's the end of lesson 6.